Everybody, Jason Bowtech with OutdoorProductReview.com. Welcome back to the 2017 bow review. We're going to continue on. First out, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, and we have Sitka Gear, the best hunting clothing you guys possibly could ever purchase. We have QAD Ultra Rest, and we're using the HDX model from them this year again. You guys have seen this red one. We used it last year. Definitely the best drop away rest that you could possibly find. And then lastly, we're using Victory Armor Piercing Arrows, the new TKO carbon weave shaft. And the extra weave on it makes the arrow stronger, gives a little bit more penetration downrange or on an animal if you're shooting. So I'll tell you what, without further ado, let's go ahead and continue on. Today we're going to be shooting the Bowtech Range 6. This is their newest line of the SmartBow that they have out. They've added a micro sync dial on this bow. The micro sync dial it's right here on there. So what happens is a lot of times your bow will get out of timing due to cable stretch, string stretch, whatever the case is. You can actually take, without a bow press, and turn this micro sync dial to make sure that your cams are in time. Now, you need to either film yourself drawing, have it on a draw board, or whatever the case is, just because the simple fact that you need to be able to look at both cams turning at the same time. Both cams turning at the same time is going to give you more accuracy, as we know. All right, another aspect they have too is they have a Y-yoke system on their cable on both the upper and the lower extremities of this bow, and that attach to the cam. That reduces cam lean because you're not having one cable pull on a certain side of the cam. So that's a great aspect for the accuracy of the bow. They have their Flex Guard cable roller system, which is something I really like. You guys, that in turn with the Y-yoke system is really gonna absolutely give you zero cam lean whatsoever. All the bows are set up with the OverDrive Binary Cam system that Bowtech's famous for. And this one, the difference is, remember the other models we had where you could go 1, 2, 3 for the performance. This one has a flip disc. So your flip disc is simple. You just take it off, turn it over. So the flip disc is set up for performance, which is that higher draw force curve. So when we're drawn back, it's going to be a little tougher, but you're going to get more speed out of the bow. 350 IBO on this bow right here. The bow's 70 pounds, 30 inches. We put it on the comfort one, which is great, especially in the cold months, in the winter and whatever. You can draw the bow back smoothly, no issues whatsoever, and still maintain the great, aspect of what Bowtech has to offer. So I really like that a lot. Before we had the performance, the in-between, and then the comfort. But this one's simple. Flip it over, there you go. It's outfitted with the nice CPX riser that Bowtech's famous for. Definitely they know what they're doing as far as delivering all the energy throughout the bow to make the arrow as fast as possible, but yet still being forgiving when you're shooting it. They do have the Range 7 and the Range 6, and the big difference in those is just your brace height. 6 is going to be faster because it's a shorter brace height, but you have that long riser, so it should be forgiving. 7-inch brace height is going to be really forgiving, still with the same long riser as what you have. And speaking of risers, so the overall axle on this bow is 32 inches and 5/8, which makes it nice. It's a short bow, so you can put it on your backpack, take it up, go up backpacking up above timberline, and not have any issues with it hitting the limbs unless you put it really high on your pack. I told you about the speed of 350, but the mass weight on this bow is actually 4.3 pounds. So it's over that magic 4-pound mark that we like to shoot, but there's a lot of aspects on here, like they have this the sound vibration dampener over here that sort of offsets, so it allows your bow to set in your hand perfectly. And as you can see, it sort of leans that way. You can counter that with a stabilizer, but that extra weight and those beads in there, if you will, are going to absorb a lot of that shock and things throughout the bow. So overall aesthetics, it's just a beautiful looking bow. Bowtech really knows how to make their stuff, and I've loved shooting Bowtechs for years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do the draw test on this, and then we're going to shoot through the chronograph. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. Remember, speed's not everything, but I'll tell you what, Bowtech knows how to put comfort and speed together. All right, so we're going to draw it back. We'll get that VAP on there. Wow, I think that's a lot smoother than last year's bow. A lot smoother. Going side to side. Moves just a little bit, but it's a really thin neck grip. So you just have to hold the bow properly like you're waving at it. Come creeping forward. You probably got maybe 1/8 of an inch in there, but when you're held back solid, I mean, that let off is perfect. You can hold this bow forever just like this, as long as you don't creep forward. Remember when you're in a tree stand, bending at the waist and not just leaning over. Okay, let's go ahead and shoot this. I'm going to touch my 2 fingers. Bow is really, really quiet, super fast. It did fall forward, if you will, but other than that, it was dead in the hands. It just sort of fell forward. But shooting it, that was really smooth. There was 0 hand shock whatsoever. The bow was whisper quiet, not a problem. Super, super quiet, as a matter of fact. All right, let's go ahead and shoot this through the chronograph, see what kind of speed we're going to be getting out of this. Check out. Shooting again. Okay, so we're going to be shooting that range 6, 417 grain arrow through the chrono here. 30 inches, 70 pounds. 310 feet per second. Right there, you guys saw it's 310.3 feet per second. Definitely a smooth shooting bow throughout. The draw cycle on this, compared to most of the other bows I've done, especially from Bowtech, is really, really, really smooth. Last year was nice. It was nice and smooth, but this year, I'll tell you, they've even made it smoother, and that's on the performance. So if it was on the comfort one, just imagine how short the valley would be, or as smooth the valley would be throughout. You wouldn't have that huge draw force curve, which this doesn't really have. It's really surprising. I could almost shoot an 80-pound bow because it feels like I'm pulling back 60 pounds. And this bow's set at 70 pounds. I checked it on the scale at the house. 310 feet per second, over that magic 300 mark. The only thing I'd say is just the weight, the 4.3 pounds, and that's really it. Overall, though, the bow is flawless. It's beautiful. Shoots like it dreams, quiet, dead in your hands, falls just a little forward, no problem whatsoever. You could actually put those little back stabilizers on there if you needed, just to counter that, if that's an issue with you. With me, it's not. Overall, though, just a great looking bow. Shoots great. I like the fact that you can tune the bow for the timing without a bow press. That is something that is just really impressive, because most time you either have to have a bow press yourself or take it into a shop and get it done, and that's hassle and money that you don't need to spend. So invest now in a bow that you can tune yourself without the need of a pro shop. And you know, certain things you need a pro shops, but simple little stuff like that you can do. Make sure your bow's in timing, and you get out there and you can hunt more and you can spend more time in the outdoors. So definitely a good thumbs up from Outdoor Product Review. So for Outdoor Product Review, I'm Jason Boss. We'll see you guys on our next bow review.